this guy. It's like having Don Rickles in your living room. By the way, somebody lost their driver's license. Eliza Foster, your main driver's license is up here, and I'm looking at your birthday. The tie I'm wearing is older than you are. You're supposed to introduce him? I'll tell you what then, Darla. You introduce. I'm going to bring Darla back to do the introduction. What, beg pardon?
You want to do it together?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I will say that he's a congressman, Ernest J. Istook, but currently he is working
at the Institute of Politics at, oh God, Harvard?
I'm out of office now. I spent 14 years in the Congress. That's enough, I guess. And I have to tell people, I confess to having been a politician. I confess to having been a reporter. I confess I'm a lawyer, for goodness sakes. But I've never sold used cars. In fact, when I was in college one time, I worked in a meat factory during the summer. I wouldn't eat bologna for the longest time afterwards. And then I served 14 years in the U.S. Congress. And I'm not going to swallow what's going on there either. And after serving in Congress for 14 years, I got to tell you, now I am in recovery. Now, these days, yeah, I'm temporarily over at Harvard. It's an interesting thing, being a conservative at Harvard and the Kennedy School and the Institute of Politics, just there for 3 months. But I've been bringing in people like Andrew Breitbart. You know, when Republicans took the majority, you remember what was the #1 item in the Contract for America? It was to enact a balanced budget amendment. And do you know, wouldn't do it, and they lost the majority. Now, I got to tell you, though, when we talk about balancing the budget, and I can tell you, Congress won't do it unless the Constitution requires. But I don't want an amendment that says, well, just balance the budget, because some people will say, oh, all we got to do is, yeah, they'll say raise taxes. Ooh, sends shivers up my spine. But you got to do it with a requirement that prevents the raising of taxes and that limits the size of government. You know, I've got something in common with Uncle Sam. I'm overweight. Anybody here have that same problem? Yeah, okay. Thank you for making me feel that I'm not alone. But I will say, Uncle Sam, you lose weight and I'll lose weight. Best diet for the whole country. But right now, we're on the track. Do you remember the speech? Right after he was elected and the week before he was inaugurated, President Barack Obama gave a speech in Virginia. And he said in that speech, only government can create jobs. He said, only government can fix the recession. Don't let them get away with telling lies about you. Because here's the thing that they hate most of all. You're winning. So keep that up. Know that you're not alone, and people around the country are so proud of you in Massachusetts for the things you're doing to show that you're learning and you're improving, and the rest of the country needs to do the same thing. And let me leave you with one final thought. It is very common in a political presentation, there is a particular line that people usually say at the end, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good admonition. But we often end things by saying, God bless America. But here's the point. God has already blessed America. God continues to bless America. So I want to leave you with this thought. Isn't it time that America blesses God? Thank you.
We wanted to recognize that State Treasurer Tim Cahill is out walking around saying hello and shaking hands. You know, a lot of politicians, you know, didn't show up today, and that's why he didn't want to get up here and speak because he wants to be down there in support of the Tea Party Express. So he fought Obamacare. He's a good guy, and if you run into him, shake his hand, say thank you, and give him some support. He's in the audience right now. Folks, from my old radio home, 680 WRKO, Boston's talk station, Todd Feidenberg.
Thank you, appreciate it. My distance vision isn't that good. Is anyone here? Ah, I hear something. Woo! How cool is this? Democracy in action. The will of the people being expressed is what January 19th was about and why it was such an exciting moment. After 50 years of Joe Kennedy's booze peddling money, holding that seat hostage, we finally got to express ourselves. It was a great moment. So don't be mad at Scott that he's in Washington doing our work. That's fine. His job is to do the work in Washington. Our job is to launch more people.